Alright, this is Jill Dant's master bathroom. What she hired a contractor for, did a terrible job. We're just going to point out what we know is bad that is on the surface. First of all of the wall paneling is hardy backer. Hardy backer is meant for the floor, and then you put floor tile on it. Not in a shower. It acts like dirt, or it acts like drywall. And just like it's flaking here, you can get water in between all the different layers, and then this material right here swells up because it's a bunch of thin layers, and it can swell up and pop all the tile off. Obviously on the floor, yeah, you might throw down a wet towel or something like that, but your grout is stopping that. It's not constant in water area, so we use a concrete Durarock is what should have been installed. Next thing is the mud on here. You can actually see how it's still got the swirls in it, and it didn't even hardly stick to the tile. It's because they use mastic, which is a pre-mixed mud. So on the pre-mixed mud, and you can see there were 12 by 12 tiles. Well, pre-mixed mud is rated for like a backsplash kitchen, and they're like 3 by 6 tiles. It's not gonna, once you push, enough isn't going to spread out. That's why you can still see all of his trowel marks. You should only be able to see half of the trowel marks because half should stay on the wall and half should stay on the tile. But you can see none of this even stuck to the tile. Right here it's stuck, and right here and right here it's stuck. But besides that, you have a little area here. You can just see the tile impressions on these. So that's problem 2. Problem 3, you don't tape your joints with blue painter's tape. Painter's tape is not waterproof. And then he's got silicone behind it because he's probably like, well, you can't put silicone there because when you go to tile mud over it, the mud is not going to stick to your silicone. So then you put tape over it, and that just doesn't work. This should be the green mold-proof mesh tape, and we put our Durarock up, then you put your mesh tape on and you fill it with not mastic but thin set. So that's problem number 3. Problem number 4 is our shower pan, which actually this is probably the worst problem. This is what caused leaks 2 days after install. So usually there's what's called a pre-slope. So we put a mud down on the plywood, and we slope it from 0 to about 1.25 inches on this size shower pan. Then you let that concrete dry. You put in a rubber liner, and the rubber liner attaches right under this flange, which there is no rubber liner. Then it comes up the pre-slope and then up the wall about 10 inches or so. Then on top of that, you pour your next batch of mud. Same thing from roughly, well, your pre-slope already has a slope, so I would do probably 3/4 the whole way up. And that gives you the slope to have water. If it did get penetrated through there, it would hit the rubber liner, run underneath the concrete, hit this fin, and still go down the drain. The whole purpose of a shower pan. Then it should run up and over the side and just wrap, no nails up here. He has screws right here. He did silicone them at least, but again, it's hardy backer, not Durarock. And there's no slope whatsoever to the pan. He had thick mud put over here, mastic, and you can see how easy that broke out just with my hand. And then it slopes from thick mud down to no mud, but no pan liner, no nothing. And he used the same 12-inch square tiles on the shower floor. You're only allowed to use a 2-inch by 2-inch because you have to have movement on each of those tiles to create that slope. So right now, he has no slope this direction. It's only this direction because you can see this is straight. right? So he's got the same 3/4 mud over here as he does over here, and it's just sloping this way. Well, this water here is just gonna sit because it's not sloped towards the drain. It's only sloped the long direction. Next, you can see this beautiful floor vent. It's unfinished basement downstairs also, which we will take you down there in a little bit. He could have easily moved this pipe over in the basement and not had a stupid floor drain look like that. Who says that that's acceptable? That is unacceptable. Especially if you're looking at an HVAC code, there is airflow requirements, and the reason the air vent is 4 inches by 10 inches is to get the airflow 4 inches by 10 inches. And then it's just setting in there. So nothing's, you know, tight, screwed, anything, just set it in. That's unacceptable. What else? If you come to this wall, you can see that that wall is not square. I can go get you a square from the trailer, but square is probably about where my finger is. On a 1 foot wall, it is out of square by probably 3/4 of an inch the whole way up. So this should be pulled back and nailed there.
Maybe you forgot to slope that, and so he sloped that.
Slope this outwards.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a good move.
really
Like you
let
said, the
that
shower
water.
slope.
Exactly. He is using Durock screws, so that's acceptable. I don't know what this little patch right here is. It's set back and recessed by about 1/4 of an inch. So we'll get into that kind of thing. Durock on the ceiling. I've never seen, Hardybacker. Hardybacker on the ceiling. I've never seen Hardybacker on the ceiling in 17 years that I've worked with the product. He could have left that area drywall and just drywalled it. So, the drain. Corey wants me to talk about that. So, this holds it down there. Your tile, this goes up and down for you non-contractor people. So this gives you adjustments to what I said about that 3/4 thick mud and stuff. You can pick what mud thickness you want and how thick your tile is, and then your tile goes perfectly flush with the top of the drain. He couldn't get it to seal, so he used spray foam. This is yellow spray foam, like you spray foam in a exterior door with, or the great stuff red can from Home Depot or Lowe's that he spray foamed in because he couldn't get it to stop leaking. Foam is not waterproof, but you can see all the foam, and we'll probably see more downstairs when we go look at that. So, super, I mean, I would give this is as bad as it gets. Like, this is terrible. I'm going to use this handy dandy pointer to show you guys what's going on. So here is the shower drain, which is the correct size, 2 inch. However, you can see he attached from here and it's sloping downhill by about 3/4 of an inch. Water needs to run downhill this direction. The whole pipe, right? And he has room right here to cut this, right? He already put a coupling right here. Right up in here. There's a coupling. Right here's the coupling. And he could have just moved this whole thing up, but instead he chose not to. I understand that there's a gas line right there to work around, but he could have had this coupling moved as well. Turn your P-trap so that the P-trap right here, this P-trap, the way that the U is, he could have put the U right around that gas line and that's the way I'm going to do it, so that you can gain probably 2 inches if you needed it. We don't need to gain 2 inches. So this is slope downhill. This right here even has about a ½ inch of sloped backwards. If it's not sloping backwards, it's perfectly flat over that 4 feet right there. Okay, he capped off the old plumbing, that's fine. So now if we look way up at the drain up here, see how all this caulking is up in there? You shouldn't have to caulk that at all, because it was leaking so bad. He just kept caulking it and caulking it and caulking it because it wasn't sloped. It's just a flat pan. Well, of course, if you had a flat sink or anything, it's just gonna sit, right? So he just caulked it, and more caulking and more caulking, and you shouldn't even need to have any caulking. So that's great. He used the right screws in here so the screws won't rust. I think that's all you got. I think that's it. I'm being 100% honest. That is about it. He couldn't even replace the shower valve. You spend the money to do a whole new bathroom. He puts a new one over here, but not over here. And he put this in to be able to wash feet or something. I don't understand his logic there. So he used the right screws, and that's it. That's all we got. I don't see anything else that he's done correct. Can't obviously use a square. Can't even use the correct backer material of Durarock. Couldn't use the right tape. Couldn't use the right mud. Couldn't put a pre-slope in the pan. He didn't have a rubber liner in the pan. He didn't do a top coat of mud. And again, he used mastic. Just terrible. Terrible. That's all I got. Let's go look at it.